how's everybody? Welcome to the full moon Libra video. For those who are new to my channel, I always just like to talk about, astrologically speaking, what to expect, the energy that's at play, and how to use that to your advantage. This is gonna be, what's the word for this? This is going to be a very intense, and honestly, I'll be honest, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a bit of a challenging full moon here. But how's everybody? I'm going to wait a few minutes for the chat to fill up as always. I apologize for the lighting. I didn't know the sun would be right on me at this time, but it's not going to be for long. So we'll hang in there with it. Let's see. Hello, hello. Hey guys. Hi. Oh, 111. Hi, people in the chat. But how are you guys doing? How are you handling the energies so far? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the portal day yesterday. Let's see. Hey all, hi. Love your energy. Oh, thanks, Stephanie. Thank you. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. Like, honestly, when I was going over the aspects for the full moon, I was like, oh, shit. I was definitely having like an oh, shit kind of a feeling about it. But like with anything, guys, I just want you guys to be prepared to how to use this to your advantage. Like I always say with astrology, it just shows you what's possible. It depends on how you use it, right? Hey, caught you live. Let's see. I've been really unmotivated, unenergized. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's, I've noticed that too with some people. I have noticed that like people have been very lethargic. If you have been kind of lethargic, I do recommend that you like put in a routine for yourself to be active or just to get your energy up. Like making sure that you have some kind of workout every day, even if you can't go to the gym because gyms are closed, or even if your hiking trails are closed, you can at least get up, do a quick little workout routine, or even just stretch. You can go for a walk in your neighborhood. You can take on a new activity that like makes you be physically active. There's a lot of things you can do to be sure you actually get your energy levels up, because even if you're tired and you make yourself do something, it's going to wake you up. Let's see. I've been feeling really good so far. Okay, good. All right, so I got some good vibes going on for some of you. So for those who also don't know, I'm on my phone, so I can only see like 3 or 4 messages at a time. My apologies. Feeling very down this weekend. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about this in the full moon when I get into it, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of emotional stuff. There's going to be a lot of emotions. Some people are going to be kind of down with a lot of this energy, but like I said, we'll talk about it. You guys can get through it. I got laid off, but I'm super chill with it. All right. Hey, that's cool, Zoe. You can probably get a job that, is probably going to be more satisfying for you, or probably where you really should be. Is it morning time? It's evening time here. The sun's literally going down, which is why it's like, so you guys can't see my face. I really didn't think the sun was going to be at this angle at this hour. I'm still at a new place, getting used to it. I'll, schedule it better next time. Super excited to catch you live. Listen to your last live yesterday, and now I'm very motivated to get things done. Yes. All right. I'm thinking of my papa. Aw, and he just popped up. Yeah. So guys, okay, like God, I already want to talk about it so bad. Yeah, relationships, emotions, and pain and shit is gonna be really highlighted at this time. Remember, it's really small, so I can't totally see your usernames that well. Stavat? I can't see that. Hi, thanks for the $5. Thank you for the guidance with the situation I've been dealing with. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh my gosh, here they come. Kat, thank you for the 1111. Thank you for all the knowledge you share with us. Guys, I love my job. I love my job, and I like making sure that I can like share some stuff with people, just, make people feel a little bit more empowered. Julie, thanks for the 199. This is for Clyde. Where is he? Actually, I don't know where that cat is. Oh, he's right here. He's right here. Hey, buddy, you were so quiet. I guess he got up there. I didn't even realize. Let's see. The downloads have been so intense for the galactic beings. Yes. Yeah, a lot of downloads are coming in, guys. All right. So I'm going to give it a full 5 minutes, and then I'll get started just because it does take a while for the chat to fill up. But at the 5-minute mark, I'm going to go ahead and get going. At least it's not raining over there. California is wet. I kind of like when California is wet, though. I always liked California when it rained, which was like not very often. I love Clyde, LOL. Yeah, he's a good cat. I got really lucky with him. He's a good guy. My partner and I have decided to go off and start a homestead. Oh, congratulations. Homesteads are really cool. I've always been curious if I could do it. I've never had like an intense urge to do it like my own homestead, but I've always wondered if I could just do it. You know what I mean? If I could just pull it off. It was raining in Texas all day. So for my patrons who are watching, I was going to do the weekly before this, and I started and my energy wasn't quite right, but I did get lightning. Lightning came in really strong, but I'll be doing the weekly messages after I do this live video. All right, guys, so let's go and get started. It's like 5 minutes. I think that's good. So just so you guys know, as I get into talking about the astrology of the full moon in Libra, I don't want to lose my place. I don't want to get distracted. You guys know how easy it is for me to get distracted. So if I miss your super chats, messages, I apologize in advance. I like to stay focused because I do have a lot of notes going on here. And a lot of what I'm going to say, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, a lot of what I have to say about the full moon Libra is going to sound, for some people, might sound a little scary, might sound a little stressful, but you guys can handle this. I know you guys can handle this. I also want to focus on keeping you guys like, feeling good about it. Natalie, thanks for the $11. Thank you for the $11. You're the greatest. Lots of downloads. Damn. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are getting downloads. Very indicative of the energy we're moving into. All right, so let's get started. We're officially starting. So full moon Libra, depending on where you are in the world, is on the 7th or the 8th. It's on the 7th of April at about 7:30 Pacific. It's at 18 degrees Libra. So the first thing I always say about any moon cycle, check what house it affects for you. Now, I talked about this before on how to check your houses for this. For those of you who don't know, the best way I can just describe it to you, because it is easier than it sounds, I promise you. If you just tell yourself right now that you'll understand it, right before I describe it, you'll understand how to do it. So when you look up your chart and you see your rising sign and it has all the houses listed under it, it usually has a sign and degree placement next to that house. That's where that house starts for you. So just see where Libra 18 degrees falls. It's always a range between that house and the next house. So just see where Libra 18 degrees falls for you, and that's the house that's probably going to be highly affected for you with all of the energy that I'm talking about. A lot of the energy I'm going to be talking about is also more like collective. It's definitely going to be a lot about, COVID-19. Sorry, it is, because it is really emphasized with this energy and the developments that are coming from that and how it's affecting us emotionally, because a lot of emotions are highlighted at this time. Now, this full moon is also a super moon. God, that sun's making me crazy. It's actually going to be the strongest super moon for 2020 because it's the closest super moon to Earth at the time that it's happening, at the climax point that it's happening at. So with super moons, the thing to remember is that the effects of the moon are intensified. It's usually a way more intense of a full moon than it normally would be. So it's going to really intensify our emotions. It's also going to really intensify our intuition. Now, when you set your intentions, like I said, do it according to the house that it affects with Libra at 18 degrees. But when you set your intentions, keep in mind that full moons are about releasing things and getting clarity on situations. So also keep that in mind when you're setting these intentions, okay? All right, so let's get started. So this is in Libra. Libra is Venusian energy, it's 7th house energy, so relationships, romance, connections, creativity, money, even equality and justice. So with all of these all of those aspects of our lives, we're going to be feeling way more intense emotions about those things, right? So when it comes to relationships and connections, we're going to be wondering about who's really important to us. Like, we're going to come into an understanding of who in our lives are really important to us, what's important to us about relationships, and what we want out of relationships. And even when it comes to ourselves, if we are prioritizing ourselves, if we consider ourselves important. So there could be some self-work for some people, while others it's going to be more so about your external relationships. And of course, depending on what house it's in, that will affect what kind of relationships you're going to be thinking about. Keep in mind, everyone's going to be subjected to this. So everyone who's been exposed to you, it will be thinking about you in some capacity, right? The other thing with this, full moon, because it is in Libra, it's about equality and justice, right? That balance. So we're going to be thinking about what we feel we deserve, what we feel others deserve, what we feel the collective is deserving of, and what we can do to really achieve balance and justice for ourselves and for other people. This will go hand in hand with COVID-19. And this will also go hand in hand with relationships, right? So some people are going to not only be thinking about the people in their life who've been important to them or have had a major impact on them or who they really care about, but also those who've who you've done wrong by. So for example, your ex could be like, damn, I really cared about them. I really cared about them. Why did I do wrong by them? I need to go make amends. So there's also going to be a lot of that energy. So don't be surprised if you get people from your past hitting you up because they're thinking about you in all these crazy times and their emotions are really running high. I can't stress this enough. With the supermoon, emotions and intuition are peaking even more so than they normally will. Intuition is what's going to be the key to being successful in this energy. Emotions are going to act like quicksand in this time. And normally I'm not that person to be like, try to not feel. You're gonna feel like too much in this energy. So if your emotions are getting the best of you, you got to do a real hard check-in with yourself and staying grounded in reality, as well as staying connected through intuition, because your intuition is going to be so clear, and you're going to have a lot more understanding through your intuition than your emotions, because your emotions are going to be in overdrive at this time. Okay. All right. So let's get into some of the aspects. A lot of guys, for those who are new, I talk about the aspects. I don't get too nerdy about it. I just like to let you know that there are aspects for those who do want to have that information. And then we get into what the effects are going to be. Okay. I really thought the sun would be down by now. All right. Oh, it's funny how I like label my notes. So this section I'm about to go over, I'm basically calling it the biggest challenges. COVID-19 and developments to come from that. Sorry, it's totally distracting. So before I get into this, it's funny, I like wrote these little things to say because I really wanted to make sure you guys feel comfortable with the energy that's coming. So we have a choice on how we react to things, right? We can't control what happens to us. Shit happens, life happens. All we can do is control our behavior, our reaction, and how we handle it, okay? Now let's get into it. The first biggest challenge, which I called getting a grip, is Neptune is going to be in conjunct with the full moon. Neptune is in Pisces, full moon is in Libra, okay? So all that full moon energy I just talked about is going to have a major kind of reaction with Neptune, Piscean energy. So not only are we going to have like extra emotion and intuition and shit because it's a super moon and it's a full moon, Neptune's also amplifying that because what is Neptune? It is Pisces. It is home in Pisces. It will amplify a lot of emotion and intuition as well, okay? Neptune, however, also affects health imbalances, like physical health imbalances, ailments, illness, things of that nature. But Neptune is also associated with creative imaginings, optimism, and intuition. So again, before I go further, we all have a choice on how we react to shit, okay? There are going to be a lot of people who might not react so well to things that are happening and fall subject to this energy in a way that's not productive. Or you could really use this energy to your advantage as long as you stay really connected through your intuition and you don't let your emotions run amok here, okay? So more of what I wrote. A double whammy of how strong our emotions will be, how they're going to drive our reactions. Remember our reality, that's actually really important. Remember that our reality is based upon our perception and what we think about, and that we can control what we think about and what our perceptions are. That's also going to be key to helping you guys out here, all right? So 3 general things to kind of go over with this aspect. We have COVID-19. There's going to be more panic, okay? There's going to be more panic. There's going to be more stress. There's going to be more paranoia. People are really going to fall prey to like the stressful energies that we've been feeling. I feel like we had a weird roller coaster of reaction with COVID-19. I feel like people like really panicked after a period of like not really believing it. Then they full on panicked, and then it was like having to live with the panic. And then it's like people got tired. Right? I don't know if you guys have been experiencing that, but that's how what I've been seeing. I'm like, oh, people just seem exhausted all of a sudden, almost like they got tired from being so panicked. Well, there's going to be developments that happen that's going to really drive up that panic again. All right. So we might see a little bit of an uptick there. Another thing to keep in mind, please try really hard to take care of yourselves at this time. We are going to see higher rates of infection. Now, when I say higher rates of infection, I mean the rate. I don't mean just the number. There's always going to be an increase in infection. That's just the natural progression of illness and public health. No matter what we do, there's always going to be more people who get it or who test positive. But when I'm talking about the rate, I mean think of like percentage ratios and comparing, right? There's actually going to be a faster rate of people becoming sick and contracting it. It's going to be a little easier to contract it with this kind of energy. So just be a little bit more careful with your shit. You'll be fine. Okay, you'll be totally fine. Let's see. Oh, that's right. So I'm gonna talk about Mars a little bit later, but we also have this authoritarianism energy coming up that's really kind of making people more emotionally on edge. So emotions are up because of the moon. They're gonna be amped up more because of Neptune. And Mars is doing some funky stuff, which is going to be agitating people. So we're going to see people become very angry as well, irritated, restless. And that's also going to drive a little bit of the like paranoia, a little bit of the creative imaginings of like what the possibilities are. Like this could happen, that could happen. We don't know what's going to happen. The world could implode, you know, falling down that rabbit hole versus using our intuition and realizing what the realistic possibilities are and staying grounded in reality. So there is a difference there, right? So just something else to keep in mind. Your reality is based on your perception and what you think about. So if you fall down that rabbit hole, it might turn into a spiral. I'm not going to lie, because this is going to be a lot of emotional energy to try to get out of. Okay. Now with relationships, how this aspect is going to be affecting people. People who have trust issues, or if you have, you know, a dynamic with someone where you've, you know, had trust that's been broken, that's going to be very extreme around this time. So like I said, a little bit more of that paranoia, right? So it's going to be harder to embrace people that you really, truly, honestly don't trust. But on the flip side of that, the people that you have a lot of love, unconditional love and compassion for, you're going to embrace even more. You're going to want to be around them even more. So again, it all comes down to your perception and how you're handling these energies and how you're handling yourself. Okay. All coming down to how you handle yourself in this energy. You could fall into an unconditional loving energy and you'll embrace a lot of people. You'll make friends. You'll have a little hub group going. And if you fall prey to fear and panic and all that shit, you're not going to trust anybody. You're going to be very paranoid. Okay. So again, you can control yourself. Control yourself and how you react to people. And in regards to spirituality and intuition, again, really staying in tune with your intuition and staying aligned and connected, really important right now to being rooted in reality, because your intuition is telling you everything you need to know, right? We're also going to see a lot more awakenings coming at this time, but you're also going to get a lot of downloads. Some of you I know already have. There's also amplifying a lot of the dream space, all right? So your dream spaces will continue to be crazy for the rest of April, which I already talked about, I think, in the last... new moon. It had because it's a full moon. In the new moon video that I did, I talked about that. So again, pay attention to your dreams as well. A lot of answers coming in from there. Okay. All right. That's challenge 1. So just more advice of what I already stated. Stay in high frequency, watch your thought forms, stay connected, stay grounded, to utilize the peaking intuition to guide you through the emotional roller coaster, causing all the confusion and chaos. So just more of what I said, just little bits of advice. Now let's move on to the next challenge. This one I called creative solutions and outlets. So, okay. It's funny I labeled it that, because this one, it's like, that is a very sugar-coated title for what this is that I'm about to talk about. So Uranus is square Mars, okay? Uranus is in Taurus 5 degrees, Mars is in Aquarius 5 degrees. So it's also an exact square. That's a little intense. So let's talk about Mars for a second. So Mars was exact conjunct with Saturn on the 30th. That brought a lot of like teamwork energy. Oh, you know what? We can deal with each other. We can work together to fix shit. It was really nice energy. Now Mars is square Uranus. So now you have this like authoritarian militant energy coming up that's rubbing against a need to be free and having freedom with the masses. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this, right? So we're going to see more regulations, more restrictions coming up from government practices, from government for COVID-19 practices. And we're going to see more restlessness and more rebellion energy, even more violence, probably more riots from the public, especially those who haven't worked on their shit, especially those who have like very fear-based reality, or those who are very much asleep. We're going to see a lot of that going on. And of course, intensified anger and irritation around emotions, because our emotions are running really high because of the other aspects that are going on that I already talked about. Okay. Let's see. So just more what I already reiterated. I like to have a lot of these little notes because I phrase them way more eloquently than I do on the fly. So anger and restlessness over feeling controlled and feelings of injustice on a community level. Find an outlet. This is why I labeled it creative solutions and outlets. Okay. This is the best energy to take and decide to use it, okay? Not like get lost in it and go pick a fight with the government, but go and try to like find a solution or an outlet for all this crazy energy that can basically just, make you feel better about your own situation, make you feel better about the collective situation. Whether you want to help the collective or just help yourself, creative solution time. Time to go create with all that anger. It's the best time to create some shit. Oh, something else to note. With Uranus in a square position and also being in Taurus, that does kind of lean towards natural disasters. It does tend to lean towards earthquakes, volcanic activity, things of that nature. We're also going to continue to see more volatility in the economy as well. It's already pretty volatile. You might be surprised. We might have another like event of some kind or some kind of milestone that happens with the economy or the dollar. So also keep your eyes out for that. Or the stock market. I don't know which one the stock market could crash, but you know, anything's possible. Anything's possible with this craziness. All right, so those are the big challenges. Okay, so now the energies I'm going to talk about are energies we can kind of lean on a little bit, that can bring a little bit more positive energy into the situation. Again, astrology just shows you what's possible. It's up to you and how you want to use it. Okay, so Jupiter conjunct Pluto. We had that exact on the 4th of April, which was just yesterday, right? I think today's the 5th. It was just exact yesterday. So it's still really strong coming into this full moon energy, which is really good. It means it's adding to this full moon energy. So it's energy that allows for successful endeavors and breaking away from habits and hard to end cycles. This is going to drive people to success. It's going to motivate people to get shit done, create things, and basically to have stability come out of that as well. Businesses started will be successful, especially if it impacts the public versus the self, right? So if you're doing something for the community, do it. It's going to be a great time for you to do it. It'll probably work out for the best, okay? So while the patriarchy will further become undone and emotional reactions will be occurring, people who haven't done much healing or work on themselves will start lashing out. So just take advantage of this energy to make the solutions and release what needs to be released within yourself in order to create what needs to be created to make you feel better about your own situation regarding this and the collective situation regarding all this craziness. Okay. I will go over the degrees of where some of the stuff is affecting you guys when I'm done. And I'm almost done, but just because I know some of you like to know that and some of you guys don't. So I decided to wait till the end of the video to give that information because a lot of people don't like me talking about it. So those of you who like it, you can stick around. All right, so Mercury is also doing some stuff that can be a little positive. Mercury has 2 sextiles, one with Pluto and then one with Jupiter. So these sextiles are basically creating positive thoughts, which is good. We need that. So that has the opportunity for people to fall more into optimism and compassion and more into the unconditional love frequency, and they don't fall into the spiral. It's just an opportunity. People will choose not to do this, but there are people who will choose to do this, okay? So that's really great. With Pluto, I should have done a whole section on Pluto, but Pluto is also retrograding in April. I believe on the 25th it's retrograding. Pluto in Capricorn, with all these aspects, we're going to see more reveals of the truth, especially in this full moon because it's a supermoon and it is the strongest supermoon and it's aspecting Neptune, which is more about intuition and truth, right? So we're going to see truths coming out about the situation. We might even see some shit coming out about what the reality is behind it, like the role the government played in it or didn't play in it. So it's kind of good because, I mean, some people might say that that's bad. I think it's always good to have the truth come out. It's always a positive thing. But more than that, it's also going to give us an idea of what to expect long term. It actually will bring in a little bit factor of oh, this is where this is going. It's not going to feel so unknown anymore, which is good. I think that's awesome. Now we also have Venus in Gemini, which is having an aspect with Saturn and Mars. It's a trine, which is a positive. It's a supporting energy. Venus in Gemini will also allow us to be adaptable. It will help us to change our perspective in the way we need to change our perspective regarding all this craziness. This is a time to be adaptable. This is a time to take shit day by day, roll the punches, and create what you can in the process, even if you have to change what you're creating. If you started out with one idea and then a couple days later you're like, oh, you know what, that can't really work, or maybe I should add this kind of component, or it doesn't really do this, then you change it up and that's okay. We will have more restrictions. We will have more government restrictions. We will have more regulations. We will have more lockdowns. People will react negatively to this, or you can just decide to take what's given and create something out of it, okay? So I think you guys are going to be fine. Like I said, I have a summary, but I don't actually feel like it's necessary, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Do you guys want the little summary? It's just a quick summary of everything that I talked about. If you guys say yes, then I'll go over it. If you guys say no, then I'll talk about the degrees. Yes. Wow. Yes. Okay, I'll give a few more. Is my chat slow? What happened? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, okay, you guys do want the summary. Okay. All right, so quick summary, just 4 points. The people we love will be on our minds quite a bit, and it'll be clear who is important to us, who matters to us. If we did wrong by them, we will feel compelled to make amends. They will feel compelled to make amends. We're also going to realize who we actually need to get rid of out of our lives, who like don't really care about us, or that we thought we cared about, we don't really care about. So a lot of that relationship shit is going to be highlighted, and of course, even more so if Libra 18 degrees falls in your 7th house, your 4th house, even your 10th house. Like those are big relationship sectors, like family and marriage. Or 5th house is like dating. 10th house would be like your work, right? Or what you're supposed to do in this life. So those usually come with a lot of different relationship dynamics. If it's in any of those houses, just be prepared for that. Intuition is also peaking at this time and will provide clarity and guidance during crazy emotional roller coasters. The volatility to come with more regulations and more people becoming restless and even violent. All right. Intuition's the key here. Emotions are not a bad thing, but emotions might suck you into a sinkhole that you can't get out of. Intuition will help you a lot in all of this. A great time to come up with creative solutions, changing your perspectives, and a need to adapt. A time of breaking and releasing pathologies, wounding, to allow ourselves to be better at taking care of ourselves in order to take care of each other. Okay, so that's like a quick little rundown summary out of everything I talked about for what to expect of this woman Libra. So it can be very challenging, especially when the economic inflections kind of come in and the volatility hits up again. People are going to be really worried about their money because Libra is also Venusian, which is also money, relates to money. So don't be surprised if you get a little panic about your financial situation or people around you start to panic. Okay, what are pathologies? Like behaviors that were developed, or defense mechanisms that were developed out of a need to deal with some of the wounding and trauma that you've had. Like pathologies tend to be behaviors that come out of reacting to triggers, is like the best way to say that. Let's see, it's falling in my 8th house. Oh, the house of secrets. Oh, careful, that's also the house of taxes. Be careful, that is also the house of taxes, like other people's money. Oh, that's right, I was going to talk about the degrees because I know some of you guys want to know that. So as far as, hold on, let me go back to my notes here because I have all the degrees listed. So for creating solutions, I would try to create solutions within your houses that are affected by Capricorn energy. So for example, like the mid to late degree ranges, like 24 degrees to like 29 degree Capricorn, focus on that house for where your creative solutions need to be. So if that's your 10th house, that could be work. If it's your, trying to think, if it's like the 11th house, that can be like volunteer efforts, nonprofits, community. That could be just hanging out with your neighbors, maybe making like a whole neighbor organization sort of a thing. So again, for the creative solutions, 24 degrees, like 29 degree Capricorn, check the house where you should focus your creative solution at. I think that was proper grammar. Now let's see, let's look at relationships for a second. Oh yeah, so that would be Pisces 19 degrees and Libra 18 degrees. So those are going to be the two like focus energies for your houses for where your relationships are going to start like really feeling a lot of shit with all of this. And since it's 18, 19 degrees, I would even look from like 15 to 20 to give it like a little bit of a buffer, which is usually how it works with astrology. So to reiterate, for the effects on your relationships, check your houses for like 15 to like 19, 20 degrees Pisces and Libra. Let's see. And where you guys are going to feel the most anger and restlessness, a need to rebel, a need to tell people off, essentially. Check your houses for early degrees Taurus. It's like 1 to 5 degrees Taurus or 1 to 5 degrees Aquarius. Fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a crazy one. I'm so glad the sun kind of went away because because that was hard for me to look at that with the set of my eyes and to look at my notes. Let's see. Oh boy, too late. Oh no, it's okay. Hey, you can always go back. I wanted to really get the information out of there and out there, and I wanted to be focused. That's also why I probably went a little fast. I can't help it but talk fast. Some people get annoyed that I talk really fast. I just talk fast. Sorry, can't change that. Um, let's see. Oh, I'm getting all these questions. People don't have a brain or that they can't think for themselves. Oh my god. Remember, guys, this authoritarian energy, I'm a little nervous about. Wait a minute. I didn't even check yet what house that affects for me. Wait a minute. Is that my 8th house? Ooh, 11th house and 8th house. Great. Oh my god, my Mars is in Taurus in the 1st house at 0 degrees. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. You might really want to rip into people though. Anyone who challenges you, you might really want to rip into them, but you're gonna be okay. I love that you talk fast. Oh, thank you. I can't help it. That's just how I speak. That's just how I speak. I recently discovered you and you've been right about everything. What is wrong with Taurus men? Oh, and not willing to admit their their feelings. Well, okay, there's a lot going on with that statement. So like I always say, it's not about the sign, it's about the person's chart and their own shit that they went through in their life. That's usually what it comes down to for that person. It's usually just not the one sign. But earth energy tends to not hold back. No, okay. Let me be fair. Earth energy, I think, is sometimes misunderstood in being labeled as stoic or unemotional. But Earth is Earth. It's part of life. It helps to bring life and nurture life. It's really important, actually, in the realms of the things we care about and emotions. Earth signs actually feel a lot. They feel a lot. Earth signs and water signs, honestly, sometimes I think could go head to head on what they feel. But I think earth signs are just really good at not letting it, control them, right? Not letting it be an obstacle in practical matters. Like earth energy is way more practical, as far as, compared to water energy, but they feel almost as much as water signs do. Let's see. They can be really needy or really dry. Is that what you say? Dry, no in between. Oh. Oh, thank you for the $10, Laura. Oh, by the way, thank you everybody who sent the super chats. I apologize, like I said in the beginning, that I couldn't look at them because I needed to be focused, but I really appreciate you guys sending them. Oh, La Luna, thank you for the $9.99. I've been watching Supergirl and fighting aliens in my dreams. LOL. I can't tell if it's because of the show or the energies. Best wishes. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Yeah, guys. Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit actually. There's a lot going on in the other dimensions when we sleep. A lot of us are doing a lot more than we normally would because we are some of us are cleaning house a little bit and others are coming into a better understanding of who they are galactically in the grand scheme of things. So for example, if you're pretty far along or if you have a very specific mission, so to speak, or you're a specific kind of galactic being, some of you are dealing with low vibrational energies in your sleep, which I know can be weird and not fun. Hold on a second. Okay, thanks for the $1.99. Moon was moving super fast earlier, so speedy. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I can't wait to see the full moon though, where I'm at. It's gonna look so stunning because it's a super moon. Yeah, some of you might be dealing with very low vibrational energies when you're sleeping, and it might come off as very disturbing dreams. People aren't gonna look like people. You might actually see creatures and shit and just weird disturbing crap that doesn't make any sense. You might be doing an actual fighting. Some of you might be doing that, but not everybody is doing the low vibrational stuff. Low vibrational energies need to be cleared out at this time, need to be dealt with at this time. So some people are doing that. Others are getting in touch with who you are galactically. It's kind of a crunch time right now. There's a lot that needs to be done because we have a lot of catching up to do. We have a lot of catching up to do as far as getting people in place to really, put in place a new paradigm. So it's kind of I don't know how to explain it. Overtime, double overtime. I guess is the best way to say it. Oh my gosh, that's been my dreams for the last 2 weeks, even clearing them out after meditations and salt baths. Oh yeah, I've been taking so many salt baths. It's like crazy. I think I'm even using too much salt. Like last night I took one and I was like, why is my back burning? And not like my whole back, like a little part where I had like a scratch. And I was like, oh, I think I'm using too much salt. Uh, let's see. I try to sleep, and sometimes when I close my eyes, I see a lot of random images that trigger my trypophobia. Oh, I don't know what phobia that is. What is that a fear of? I've never heard of that one. Let's see. Same months. Oh, shit. Kaz, thanks for the 555. I'm releasing how to upgrade and have been able to connect to my spirit team a lot. Cool. More clearly lately, my intuition feels heightened as well. Yeah, guys, this is an awesome time to have our intuition heightened with all this Piscean energy. Really use it. Like, really use it. Write everything down if you can. Write everything down if you can. Okay? Let's see. Everyone liked the video. Ha! Thank you. Thank you. It's Haley. Oh yeah, we have like over 1,000 people in here and like 300 likes. I'd really appreciate a like if you could. Let's see. I had a dream where I saw a decomposing body. Ooh. Oh, and a baby being born. Oh, well, that makes sense actually, right? Death and rebirth. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of breaking down of old paradigms. Yes. Excuse me. COVID-19 going to be a new era though. Well, and that's the thing, like, not to get all political. Kaylee, thank you for the 555. Catch up is a good way to put it, putting in the collective overtime and lifting heavy. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. I'm like, I feel like I'm working like double overtime is how it feels. Not to get too political with everything, but it's like COVID-19 serves a purpose for a lot of different things. It's not about the virus. And I think it's also is acting as a distraction, which is why I think people are like COVID-19 versus everything that's happening because of COVID-19, right? It's not really about COVID-19. It's not really about that. Like all the shit that's really going to be happening and all of the obstacles and all of the like hard shit we're going to have to deal with. It's not really the virus. It's not. It's all the economic fallout and societal fallout that has to be repaired and rectified, and how that affects all of us and how that affects our interactions with each other, how that affects our consciousness as well. And, people who are going to kind of like, I don't want to say fall by the wayside, but yeah, fall by the wayside because of fear mentality versus people who are not going to fall into fear, who are going to end up working together and dealing with each other. And then there's a whole other, branch off of that. But yeah, it's not about the virus. Like I'm almost getting like, okay, no, I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. I'm getting a little tired of people like feeding into the whole stop the spread. It's everywhere. Like with the way diseases work, and if you look at a map, it's everywhere. It's spread. You can't stop it from spreading. It's spread. Like it's everywhere. Okay, it is. It's everywhere. There's no not stopping the spread. It's spread. It's very much spread unless you're like in a hub in Antarctica somewhere. It's spread. And it is what it is, right? And there's some people who do have severe symptoms and some people have very mild symptoms. I'm a math nerd, as some of you guys know, and I do like to track numbers and things like that. I haven't looked at it in a couple of days, but when I looked at it last time, I think it was like 3 days ago, I looked at active cases versus closed cases, and I think that was very telling, right? Because that's the other thing too, just from a mathematical standpoint. When you have a bigger sample size to choose from, you're going to have more accurate perception of what's really going on, right? So closed cases at this point came from a very specific pool of people, of demographics, right? And with the closed cases, it was like a little crazy in the numbers. I think it was like 20% had died and 80% were fine. But if you looked at active cases, which is most of the cases are active versus closed, I think like 95% of people had no symptoms or mild symptoms. And the other 5-6% had severe symptoms, but not all of those people are going to die. You know what I mean? So it's like looking at the numbers just based off of that, I was like, yeah, it's not about the virus. It's just about what's happening because of the virus. Chastity, thank you for the 2020. Thank you for your lessons, knowledge, and wisdom. I had a dream of people getting killed and stuff. Oh, very disturbing. I'm also starting a podcast on YouTube, Patreon. Oh, that's so cool. Libra is my midhaven, so makes sense. That does make sense. Well, congratulations. I'm sure you're gonna do really well. But yeah, when it comes to everything that's going on, guys, it's about the economic fallout. It's not about the virus. the virus is the virus. We can't change that. It is what it is. What's really happening is, people's jobs are changing. Our financial, our way of being financially is going to change drastically. It already has started to change. People who want to fight this or resist this or not see the reality of that are unfortunately going to really fall into a pit. Okay. Again, just being honest. And I've talked about this too, where you have the parasites thinking they're doing something. I would call them parasites. You can call them whatever they want, whatever you want. The higher 1% parasites is what I call them. They have their idea of what they think they're going to do and pull off. And then I also see what's possible, right? So it's like I see that their idea was to basically reset the economy, hoard the wealth in any way they can, in order to have a reset of the economy because they've trashed it, and at the same time clear out a bunch of the population, either way of starvation or illness or just pure poverty, and they'll be wiped out or shifted out in some capacity, and then there'll be a new system in place. I see that that's what they're trying to do. But then you have this whole window of opportunity for us to do whatever the hell we want. I mean, really, if we're being honest about it, whatever paradigm we want to put in place, we just have to do it. There's a whole window of vulnerability that they're leaving open for a new paradigm to come up as the old one's coming down, and then it can flip into whoever takes control. But yeah, it's like, it's not about the virus, right? But because this energy, that's also why I wanted to touch on it. Because of this energy, we are going to see an uptick in the rate that people are getting sick from this. We might even see an uptick in the death rate, but I don't think that's going to stay. I think it'll be an uptick and then there'll be a decline over the next couple months. Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's just gonna be an uptick for the next couple of weeks. And then like over the course of like a couple months, there's gonna be a decline is what I'm thinking. Especially when May hits and we have that pivot. And then in July, the whole month of May is a pivot. The whole month of May is a big fat pivot. Hold on, Scorpio Sun, thanks for 1111. Thank you as always. You're welcome. Thank you. Laxi, thank you for the 555. I have my Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Libra. I also have Libra in my 12th house. I don't know the difference between the houses and planets. Sorry. No, that's okay. Mercury, Mars, and Libra, and I have my Libra in my 12th house. So if your 12th house is run by Libra, that means Mercury and Mars are in your 12th house, is what that means. Oh my gosh, you guys. Fatima, thank you for the 27.99. I think I had a psychic attack. I was asleep and didn't see anything. Then I heard you're a bad person, and I was like, what? Then I felt this whoosh, fiery feeling on my back, and immediately woke up uncomfortable. That does kind of sound like a psychic attack to me. It definitely sounds like a psychic attack to me. You just got to know that you're stronger than that you're more powerful than that kind of an energy. That's the key to it. The only way that like people have ways of psychically attacking us, or entities have ways of psychically attacking us, is that on some level we don't accept that we're stronger than them or more powerful than them, or we have some kind of trust or like open channel to them or the person that it's coming from. Let's see. Cass, thanks for the 555. Kept seeing, it's a lot of twos in my dreams. Also, common theme in my dreams. It is time to leave an area and I cannot get my shoes on. Oh, people have told me about having dreams like that. I would think that, there is time for like change and movement in your life, especially with all the twos. Are those 5 twos? Wait. I think those are 5 twos. I could be wrong, but if those are 5 twos, that would definitely indicate some kind of change of some kind. But for a really good reason, to bring in really good things into your life, but you might have some kind of block that's keeping you from doing it or pursuing it. Thank you for your wisdom. Oh, thank you, Fluffy Cat. It's a cute name. I've recently started looking into tarot and have been finding a ton of bizarre signs to support my gut feeling that my ex will be coming back. And like, to touch on exes really quickly, because I know I don't serve a lot of that demographic anymore. Allie, hi, made it. What craziness. Let's see what's happening. Oh, and I'm like, I've ended it already. Now we're just like rambling and chit chatting. But it's gonna be intense, Allie. It's gonna be an intense full moon. Even for myself, I'm kind of like, oh shit, like I gotta get prepared. Like that's what I gotta get prepared for this. But yeah, I know I don't serve that demographic too much anymore with people who are asking about their relationships and whatnot. Guys, when it comes to your exes, um, they always come back at some point. Not necessarily, like, not necessarily to get back together, not necessarily to apologize, but like, because you haven't gotten closure, there's usually a point in time where it's like they do come up in some way, whether they say hi and I am. Oh, I am. Is that even a thing anymore? A DM, excuse me. I think I flashed back to the 90s for a minute. My bad. That was so weird. Whether they hit you up in a DM randomly or, someone mentions them to you in some capacity. That was so weird. I was like, are we talking about AIM? Exes always have a way of coming back. Unless they're highly distracted with their own shit, then they probably won't, right? But yeah, for the most part, they do. I can't think of a single ex of mine, not a single one, that hasn't come back in some capacity. Usually, it's usually not to get back together. It's usually not to apologize. It's usually to act like nothing's wrong. It's usually just to test the temperature. It's like, it's never in a way that most people want to be contacted. So that's something to kind of keep in mind with exes, guys. They always have a way of coming back in some capacity or another, unless, like I said, they're highly occupied with their situations, like highly occupied, or they're in such a dark place that they just can't do it, which again, not an excuse, but like not an excuse to think, oh, they're going to come back at some point and get back together with me. They're just in a dark place. Please don't tell yourselves that. It doesn't lead to anything good if you tell yourself that. But yeah, they always do in some way, but it's never the way you like. Let's see. Me to Z, I will never take you back. Love you. They just want to know if they can have access to you. Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. That's all it is. They must have been crazy to leave you. Oh, I've got an interesting relationship history myself. Let's see. On a light note, I met a lady online who was new to this stuff, and we've been chatting about what I've learned from you, WaterBaby, the OG wing woman. Oh, that's really cool. And see, that's the thing, guys. Like, this is also a good time to meet people. It really is to meet people because you're going to be in such an energy of understanding what you want out of your connections and also understanding how you want to be a part of the collective and help the collective. It's a great time to meet people right now. Ooh, go back. After 10 years, ex reached out. Really, LOL. I'm telling you guys, they always come back. They always come back somehow, some way. If not, they come back in the next life. And it's just like, what the fuck? It's just, yeah, they always come back. They always come back. Let's see. Lots of marriage talk. I can't figure out. I can trust my gut though, because most of it's pointing some sort of soulmate connection, or if I shouldn't look into things. Molly, if you're feeling wishy-washy about it, I would let it go. I would try to not pay attention to it. Like, if you can't decide how you feel about the thing you're feeling, I would just try not to focus on it. Because if you're not feeling sure about something or it doesn't make you feel awesome, it's probably not worth putting your energy into to figure it out. And if it's something that's going to come up in your life, then it'll come up in your life if it needs to. But if it doesn't make you feel good or doesn't make you feel confident or you feel wishy-washy about it, just don't give it your energy. Whatever's going to come of it is going to come of it. Let's see. Maria, thanks for the 199. What dates should we expect the full moon energies? Oh, excuse me. Sorry. The full moon is on the 7th. Or the 8th, depending on where you are in the world. So it's at 7:30 Pacific PM on the 7th. So if you're like, I'm trying to think of a country. So if you're like in Russia, I don't know. If you're in Russia or if you're in like, Eastern Europe or something, it's probably going to be on the 8th, right? So that's the climax of the energy. That's the peak of the energy. We're already in the pre-shadow for it. So you guys might already be feeling a little bit of this energy, and it's going to come on full force as days go by. Full moon energy will last typically, I always say typically at least a month, because you have a full month until it hits a new full moon cycle, and you have a new moon cycle in between. So it's really strong for the first 2 weeks, and then you get a new moon cycle to kind of lay on top of it, but then you're still feeling it as the energy pitters out. So as far as like intensely feeling it, from now until like the next like couple weeks or 2.5 weeks. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry. The usernames are so tiny. Uh, Pluto Eve? Is that what that says? Thanks for the $14.99. Hi, I can't stop seeing 2333 as well. 2332 everywhere for months. What does this mean? Those are mirror numbers. So when I talk about synchronicities and numbers, you can always break down the number if you want to try and like understand, you know, on a very detailed level what spirit's trying to tell you. But more often than not, when you're seeing synchronicities, it's just a reminder that you're aligned. That's how I always look at it. I get synchronicities all day long. If I get a certain number though that can't stop, then I'll pay attention to the numbers. But if I'm just seeing, 111, 333, 2112, 5335, if I'm seeing a lot of that, then I know I'm just on track and I'm really aligned and spirit's just, it has an open channel with me to talk. But yeah, if you're seeing very, very specific numbers, I would look into it if you really want to. 23, 32, like I said, those are mirror numbers. That alone is a synchronicity. And that relates to the vibration of 5, which is change and transformation. The fact that it's a 3 and a 2, it's usually the 3 working through the 2 or the 2 working through the 3. 2 is about like pairs, duality. It can also be about choices and decisions. 3s are usually about variety, networking, community, that sort of a thing. So there's probably gonna be a lot of change in your life because of other people and having to collaborate and deal with other people on a very like reciprocal level. Fatima, thanks for the $6.99. I'm a Scorpio, usually make sure the door is tightly shut and the bridge is burned. So no exes coming back to distract me. You'll be surprised. Sometimes exes can be very creative. Oh my God, I could tell you guys some stories. I might tell you one. Michelle, thanks for the 511. Can you explain what occurs during Saturn return? Oh, that's a whole other video. That is a whole other video. Okay, but oh God, how do I explain that in a short manner? Okay, Saturn. Saturn is a disciplinarian. We learn a lot from Saturn. It pressurizes us. It puts obstacles in our way, makes our life seem hard, makes our life seem crazy, but it all does that in the name of authenticity, in the name of learning. So we get obstacles, we go through shit, right? And we learn from it and we grow from it, or we resist it, right? We resist the hell of it and we just decide we can't do it. Saturn returns happen every 27 to 30 years. So your first Saturn return is like 27 to 30 years, depending on when Saturn actually comes back. I've explained orbits and how they're not perfect circles. They're spherical, they're elliptical, which is why they're not even, which is why it's 27 and a half to like 30 years or so, depending on, when you were born. So when you're on your first Saturn return happens, it's like a reality check. Think of Saturn return like that, a reality check for your life. Have you learned what you needed to learn? Have you grown enough? Or have you resisted a lot of your obstacles? Have you resisted a lot of the hard things in life? If you've resisted a lot of hard things and you've resisted the authentic part of yourself, your Saturn return is going to feel really, really intense and hard and difficult. Some people who are really far off track have to make a lot of changes during their Saturn returns because they have done very little to be on their right track and be authentic in their energy and have embraced their obstacles to learn from it. So that's what Saturn returns generally are. I might do a video on it. 555 likes, by the way. I might do a video on it later, but very, very watered down version of what a Saturn return is. It's like a reality check of if you have learned from the shit you're supposed to learn, if you are being authentic, and if you can really roll with the punches of the universe to basically just embrace what comes to you, right? Instead of fighting the universe all the time. Yancy, thanks for the $9.99. Thank you. Had a dream where I was being attacked. They were attacking me because I was unique. They said interesting thoughts. That does happen a lot with people who have abilities or people who have, some kind of galactic starseed purpose. It does happen a lot. That's happened to me quite a bit. So I think that that's probably just what that's alluding to. Let's see. I'm so sorry. I can't pronounce your username. I can't see it. Fabula? I think it's Fabula. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Thank you for the 200 PHP. I have no idea what currency that is. I am ignorant with that. Sorry. Thank you for the 200 PHP. Can you give an example of a paradigm that we can set up to counter the parasitic kind? The big one I like to use is like lateral economy versus hierarchical. So instead of the whole top-down bullshit, it's like having more of an equal footing with each other, having more of a lateral, like we all contribute and we all get resources in return, sort of a thing. And like people can't hoard wealth. An economy where people can't hoard wealth. Like that's one that I like to use a lot. Let's see. Sarah, thanks for the $5. Your Libra and Cancer monthlies were on point this month. Empress here getting blamed for crap. Oh shit. I'm sorry. I don't like when people are subject to that shit. Like, I'm sorry. But I'm sure you're getting through it. S East, thanks for the $4.99. Appreciate you, love. Appreciate you guys too. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't catch up. Brianna, thank you for the $3.99. Thank you. You're welcome. Camila, thanks for the $9.99. Cancer, Sun, Gemini, Venus. Why can't I see that? I can't see that. Libra, Moon, Mars, Aries. I'm not sure how to prepare for this. Plus Saturn return and Cap in second. One of my relationships and work have a break. I know it's hard. Trust me. I'm in my Saturn return myself right now. It's been interesting. All you can do is roll with it. Like, I know that's not like I know you probably don't want to hear that, but that is like the hard part of learning from your Saturn return and having the most success with a Saturn return is understanding that you're going to get a lot of towers. You're going to get a lot of curveballs. What you understand to be part of your existence may be ripped out from under you. Like you might have to completely change your job. You might have to move to a completely different place. You might have to cut out people from your life. You might get married. You might have your first kid. You might buy a house. Like there are a lot of amazing things that can happen in a Saturn return. It's about changing your life, right? In a way that's authentic to you to get you ready for your next chapter. Saturn returns are big chapters, right? Most people have 2. Some people get 3 if you live long enough because it's 27 to 30 years. The next one's usually the midlife crisis, right? When they didn't listen to shit in their 20s, in their first Saturn return, and they really feel it when they're, in their midlife crisis, and it can get really bad. But that's my best advice is like, just try to take it as shit comes. Louise, thanks for the $5. Aries, stellium in 10th, Cancer rising. Do you have advice on finding balance? Oh, in these energies. Oh, with Aries and Cancer, that's hard because it's like, I'm sure a lot of like the way you react to people is out of your emotions. I don't know why I want to say this. It might sound so offensive and I really don't want it to, but it's like, it literally just came to me. So I feel like my guides are giving it to me because I feel like it just came out of nowhere. Try not to take things personally. Sorry not to put you on blast. Try not to take things personally is really what I want to say. Understanding that, yes, you feel a lot. God, I'm like, how do I say this without sounding offensive? I apologize if I'm offending you. It's okay to feel a lot, number one. It's okay. It's acceptable to feel a lot. But the way the reactions might come up or come out might not always be deserving, right? So I think having a check-in system with yourself is probably best for that. Like if you're feeling something intensely, because you probably feel things very intensely, have a check-in with yourself on what is really appropriate and like what's really deserving as far as like needing to communicate something or needing to express something or needing someone to feel a certain way. Like what is really appropriate and necessary, I think is like a good check-in system. I hope that was helpful. Sorry. It's like, how do I not sound offensive with this one? But yeah, guys, I didn't mean to start talking so much. Okay, you guys, I can't catch up with the super chat, so I really, really appreciate it. You guys are fucking amazing. When I can't catch up on super chats, like, my God, you guys always make me feel really blessed. Let's see. God's waking up, but who am I? I was there, but was I like a maid? I'm sorry, that was funny. That was really funny. Was I like a maid? Yeah, the whole God's waking up. That's also been very interesting, God, that's been such a ride. I've been doing a lot myself of trying to like just own the energy too. I'm sorry, Sarah. I know you sent one and then it just like went away as soon as you sent it. Thank you so much for the $9.99. I was in a mini funk and blocks. I wasn't aware we're there. Oh yeah, had some crazy dreams that woke me up. Toxic energy getting me. Just want to say you're the realest, darling. Thank you. Yeah, that's also gonna happen right now too. because everything aspecting with Pluto, there is going to be wounding that comes up because this is a time to also break away from the hard to end cycles. Like I was talking about with Jupiter conjunct Pluto. And because the relationships are highlighted, they might be in the realm of what has been relating to our wounding with relationships as well. Haha, she saw them wake up. Mount Olympus have human servants. LOL. Oh, I'm not sure. I am not sure. That is not my sector. I'll put it that way. That's not my sector. I haven't encountered that sector yet. It's interesting because for those like who like understand what that's about, I know I'm supposed to directly connect to the North sector. I know that. And I know I'm supposed to interact with the Hindu sector as well. I know like those are gonna be two like major interactions for me with my sector. But yeah, that one in particular, I don't. Let's see. The Four Agreements is a great book on learning about not taking things personally. Yes, I love that book. Oh my God. That is an amazing book. That is an amazing book. And there's another one that he wrote called The Mastery of Love. Another amazing book. Let's see. Leo Goddess, thanks for the 499. Venus and Gemini, Pisces 7th house. Any insights on what's coming up during this moon cycle? Love you so much. So I talked about the moon. I don't know if you came late, but I talked about the whole full moon cycle in the beginning. So usually the way my videos work is I talk about it, you know, the actual full moon in the beginning, and then we just kind of hang out and talk afterwards. But I did talk about it in great length of what to expect. Let's see. Oh, come back. The truth needs to come out. Oh my God, thanks for sharing that. Can you touch on spirituality leading to sexual preference? Interesting. Can you wake up? What? Can you wake up gay? Asking for a friend. Whoever you like is who you like. Sexuality is fluid. Sorry, I'm not like, sorry, I apologize if it seemed like I had a bad reaction to that question. I just think it's kind of irrelevant. It's like independent of each other. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. Independent situations with waking up and your sexual preference. Very independent situations. You like who you like, no matter if you're awake or asleep. It's just a matter of, you know, accepting who you like, whenever you like. But sexuality is very fluid. No one's perfectly gay. No one's perfectly straight. Like nobody. It would be nearly impossible for someone to be perfectly straight and someone to be perfectly gay. But that's my 2 cents on sexuality. But yeah, very independent from waking up. Independent of that. Let's see. People are free to be with whoever they want. Yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts on candles? I love candles. I go through so many candles. It is not even funny. Oh my God. Like, and that's kind of the sad thing. Where I live, there's a 99-cent store. I do miss the 99-cent store just because I could go crazy buying candles there. I would go like once a week and like take like a bunch of their stock out because I go through them so quickly. But yeah, candles, if you are into candle magic, I think candles are amazing. If you like to read candles, like read flames, or even if like you like to read wicks, also very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Candles are very telling, especially if you use them in your energy work. You can tell by the way a flame is reacting, what's kind of going on with the energy work that you're doing. So it is very interesting. I love them. I buy cases. Oh yeah. I like, guys, like I probably have burned like probably, I don't know, 20 people's worth of like average, you know, candle consumption in the last year for sure. How do we find out our Saturn return? So you just look at your chart, you look at your Saturn placement, and you look at the sign and the degrees. And basically when Saturn comes back into that sign, that is your Saturn return. Saturn return, you know, for anything, you know, has a pre-shadow and a post-shadow, right? So for example, I feel like my pre-shadow Saturn return energy really started, was that 2018? Yeah. Really started 2018, and now I'm at like the end. I'm at like the post shadow of it now. So yeah, so that it's been like a couple years of a crazy ride, and the way it started for me was a crazy ass situation. And I was like, it was like something I thought would never happen in my life that I'd ever have to deal with, and it wasn't until this last year, 2019, that I realized that that's what was happening. I was like, oh, this is like literally the beginning of my Saturn return energy. It's the pre-shadow, and then it actually happens, right? Because Saturn stays in a sign for quite a while. And then it, eventually moves to another sign. So that's why it can feel like a lengthy process. Yeah, so basically that's how you just find your Saturn return. Just look at what your Saturn placement is, the sign and the degrees, and then just whenever Saturn's going to be back at that sign and degree placement, that's your Saturn return. But give it like a year buffer on either end. Like I said, my pre-shadow definitely started 2018 January, and I am in the post-shadow of it now. Let's see. Allie, without looking at my chart, I believe my pre-shadow started about 2 years ago. I got blasted probably last year and coming soon. Who knows? That's interesting. That is actually very interesting. I'd like to see your exact Saturn placement, because that's kind of fascinating if we have close ones. Michelle, thank you for the 511. Still confused over Saturn if you have a sign that's retrograde. Michelle, I'm sorry. I guess I don't totally understand. Still confused over Saturn if you have a sign. Oh, if your Saturn's retrograde? Like if you're born during Saturn retrograding? Is that what you're asking? Aaron, thanks for the 199. I'm a Scorpio moon, Cap, Sun, Cancer rising. Ooh, our charts are very similar. I'm a Scorpio sun, Cap moon, and Cancer rising. Allie, I'll look it up. Let's see. Haha, I think mine started when I was born. I'm still in the pre-shadow. Oh my God, you guys. Yes. Oh, that's all that means, is that when you were born, Saturn was retrograding. That's all that means. You just have that retrograde aspecting energy in your chart, but your Saturn return is when Saturn is back in that sign and degree placement. Saturn Taurus. Oh, so you still got a ways. You still got a ways to your next Saturn return. You still have a ways. But yeah, guys, so it's been about over an hour. I should probably go because I still have to do the weekly messages for Patreon. But it's been fun hanging out. We've had a lot of cool little topics come up. I think you guys are very well prepared for the full moon in Libra. Just check the degrees, check your houses. You guys will be fine. Don't lose your shit and your emotions. You can deal with shit and break away from shit as it comes up. Definitely a good time to release any, again, hard to end cycles or shit that's been just really hard to beat out of you. It's a good time to do that. If you got to cry about it, cry, let it out. But don't let your emotions swallow you. Don't let your emotions swallow you. Let your intuition really guide you and stay rooted in reality and what's really realistically possible versus Piscean fantastically possible. Okay? But yeah, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys later. Take care, okay? Namaste.